We haven't seen Charlotte Flair, Tom, for months since the summer. You're absolutely right. Such a spectacular.
WWE's massive backstage plans for Charlotte Flair upon return revealed. There seem to be big plans in place for the return of Charlotte Flair as she makes her much-awaited comeback on February 1st in Indianapolis. Reports of WWE's massive plans for her have been revealed that on the latest episode of WrestleVotes Radio on Backstage Pass, JoeyVotes and TC briefly discussed the returning Charlotte Flair, who announced her entry into the 2025 Women's Royal Rumble match. She appears to have a high chance of becoming the first-ever two-time Rumble winner, or at least it seems to be the sentiment among some fans. JoeyVotes and TC noted on the episode of WrestleVotes Radio that WWE had huge plans for Charlotte Flair upon her return, with creative even discussing putting another world championship on her. This title run could begin sooner than expected. Not only this, but Flair is expected to have a change in her appearance following her 14-month hiatus due to injury. This represents the perfect opportunity to have a completely new character presentation and build upon her existing legacy. In case you forgot, she is officially considered a 14-time world champion. Does the report possibly allude to Charlotte Flair becoming WWE Women's Champion at WrestleMania 41? The speculation centers around whether Charlotte Flair will win the Women's Royal Rumble and have a date with Destiny in the form of WWE Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania 41. Of course, it should be noted that Stratton is still a while away from confirming that she will enter WrestleMania as the WWE Women's Champion. She will likely have to get through the Elimination Chamber Premium Live event. And if she's not featured on that card, she might have a title defense in March or even early April. Considering the show of shows is later than usual this year and takes place in the second half of April, that if the reports of WWE Creative's plan to give Charlotte a world title are true, then it could mean that she becomes the one to dethrone Tiffany Stratton. If she does so, it won't be the first time she beats a highly touted up-and-comer at WrestleMania. She did the same to Rhea Ripley in 2020 before the latter got her revenge 3 years later. Returning WWE star set to win championship. An WWE update has emerged on what's next for Charlotte Flair, ahead of her return to the ring at Royal Rumble. Flair hasn't wrestled since suffering tears to her ACL, MCL, and meniscus during her match against Asuka on the December 8, 2023 edition of SmackDown. Over 1 year later, Flair's comeback has been announced for this weekend, with the Queen set to compete in the 30-woman Royal Rumble match. Following WWE releasing Top Girl merchandise for the returning star, WrestleVotes has confirmed on Twitter that Flair's new character will see her embrace a Top Girl attitude. Noting that there has been talk about Flair winning a championship sooner rather than later, WrestleVotes wrote, with Charlotte Flair set to return this weekend, a source says her presentation will fully embrace her Flair family legacy with a Top Girl attitude and flair to her character. There's also talk of championship gold coming her way sooner rather than later. This has fueled speculation that Flair could win the Royal Rumble match, with the winner earning a title bout at WrestleMania 41. For details on discussions about plans for Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania, click here. While a return date hasn't been announced, many WWE fans are anticipating the return of Becky Lynch, who was recently featured in Raw on Netflix marketing. Charlotte Flair returning to WWE with new nickname Charlotte Flair is on her way back to WWE after a long injury layoff, and it seems she's returning with a brand new nickname. During the December 8, 2023 edition of SmackDown, things fell apart for Charlotte Flair. During a match against Asuka, the star suffered a torn ACL, MCL, and meniscus, and unsurprisingly, the major damage required surgery while recovering. Flair has largely stayed out of the spotlight, only occasionally uploading training clips, giving hints at her progress. However, in recent weeks the star has appeared to drop several teases about her impending return, while she's been pictured working out with several former and current WWE superstars. Charlotte Flair teased a new gang when she was backstage at NXT, but her return will definitely be on the main roster. Charlotte Flair's on top in WWE. 1 week after a vignette aired featuring Flair, another one aired on the January 24th edition of SmackDown that gave more detail. This video featured Flair discussing her return to the ring and revealing that she will be part of the Royal Rumble on February 1st. Now WWE Shop has showcased new merchandise for Flair as she gets ready to make her big comeback. The t-shirt features a picture of Charlotte Flair with the words "Top Girl" written across Flair's eyes, indicating this could be a new moniker for the 14-time world champion. Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, and Alexa Bliss returning to WWE needs to happen, says veteran. Company needs it desperately. Alexa Bliss has been absent from WWE for quite some time now, but a veteran thinks that along with Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch, the company is in need of stars. He addressed it on his recent podcast. Former WWE writer and industry veteran Vince Russo joined EC3 and Dr. Chris Featherstone for the latest episode of Sportskeeda Wrestle Binge, The Wrestling Outlaws. The veteran writer discussed what's been happening with the company negotiating with Alexa Bliss about a new contract ahead of her potential return. While she was supposed to return earlier, plans have now reportedly been shelved until they reach an agreement. Russo talked about how WWE needed stars like Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss more than they needed the company. He spoke of the fall in viewership between episodes of Raw on Netflix and said that WWE needed to keep injecting these stars back into the programming, and their returns would get views. He said that he felt the company needed their returns desperately to increase interest in the shows and would space them out. On the other hand, the industry veteran said that Alexa Bliss had several things to consider regarding her return, such as the fact that she was already rich and married to a rock star. She's also had a baby and enjoys being a mother. Thus, he's unsure if she will return unless she gets what she wants. If I'm in the shoes of Alexa Bliss or Charlotte Flair or Becky, they're going to have to stagger these stars because they're going to keep needing some type of injections to pop a number. They're going to need to do that. It's a combination of a lot of things for her, like EC3 said. She's got money, she's married to a rock star. She's home being a mom, and we know she enjoys that, Russo said. 446 to 517. The coming week should reveal more about Bliss' return, but in the meantime, at least according to Vince Russo, the company desperately needs the stars injections to increase interest in the product. Meanwhile, Charlotte Flair is returning to the Royal Rumble, but Becky Lynch's return date has not been revealed. 4 mistakes Triple H must not make with Charlotte Flair upon her WWE return. Charlotte Flair's return to WWE was introduced during vignettes on SmackDown. She didn't speak during the first one, but attempted to justify her superiority over everyone in the second vignette, from drinking expensive champagne to standing near yachts and sports cars. The Queen declared her entry into the 2025 Women's Royal Rumble. That immediately puts her atop the list of favorites. Whether she wins the match or not, Triple H must avoid the next 4 things when booking the Queen's return to WWE after a year. Throughout her WWE tenure, Charlotte Flair has portrayed the Queen gimmick. She feels she is the best in the company and that no one can touch her. It's true because it's how she's been booked for her entire career. Regardless of what she or her fans believe, being Ric Flair's daughter gave her an edge over other stars like Bayley and Becky Lynch. That booking and character became tiresome after numerous title wins, unless it's a big swerve, which isn't something the new era is known for. It seems like she's coming back as the same character. That's a huge mistake since the divisions have evolved. The sign of a great performer is the ability to adapt and change. Seth Rollins, Lynch, Roman Reigns, and even Chris Jericho all switch things up over their careers. Judging from the return vignettes, it seems nothing has changed with her character. One thing that turns fans off is when top stars continually squash up-and-coming performers. Hulk Hogan made this an art form, and John Cena continued it